I went to Nashville. But enough about me. Today, we'll be talking about large-scale agentic AI, mainly for the purposes of fraud detection. This will be similar to the anomaly detection demo we did a little while back, but now I have multiple microservices/agents, the line is a bit blurry, all working towards my business's goal of detecting fraud. There are a bunch of moving parts in this demo. The first and probably most unreliable part is me. I will simulate a purchase to the database either by using a load generator or writing directly to the database. That's not the interesting part here. That purchase will be published from CockroachDB via CDC to a message bus. You could use S3, Kafka, whatever you want for this. I'm using Apache Pulsar because it's one of the newer syncs in CockroachDB and I like new. I have a purchase topic, which an agent is listening on. Now, of the 3 agents that I have running, the reasoning agent is the closest to a true agent. These 2 are more traditional microservices. Either way, the anomaly agent will detect the new purchase and will make a vector query against CockroachDB, determine if the purchase is anomalous, and if so, insert an anomaly into the table, which will trigger a message to another topic, this time our anomaly topic, against which the reasoning agent is listening. This agent will make a request against CockroachDB to determine which dimensions of the vector, this is just a basic vector that I'm building up myself, differ most from a customer's regular purchasing pattern. It will send that off to a large language model to form into something that we can provide to a customer, and it will send that response to CockroachDB. That will trigger another message to our message bus, this time to a notification topic, onto which the notification agent is listening. This will send a notification to the customer by way of SMS or email, depending on their preference, notifying them that an anomalous purchase has been made. You've probably seen these if your bank is asking you for your authorization for a purchase, or maybe your bank has called you up. This is the kind of process that's happening. At a more infrastructural level, I'm running this all in GKE, Google Kubernetes engine. I have a 3-node CockroachDB cluster, fairly modestly spec'd. I have Apache Pulsar also running in Kubernetes, and I'm orchestrating all 3 of my agents in Kubernetes as well, all co-located within the same cluster. Many of the agentic examples you may have seen already focus heavily on LangChain, LangGraph, etc. These might all be running within the same Python process. In order to make this scalable, I wanted to separate out the agents into their own processes, which I've then Dockerized and am orchestrating in Kubernetes. The anomaly detection agent is by far the busiest. And because it's running in Kubernetes, I can simply run a bigger pool of anomaly detection agent pods. And this can scale up and down depending on usage. First, I'll install Pulsar and CockroachDB into my Kubernetes cluster. I'll wait for CockroachDB to be available, and then I'll initialize the cluster. About 30 seconds later, CockroachDB is ready, and I'll fetch the public IP of the CockroachDB service. And that's exported it as an environment variable in each of my terminals. Next, I'll create the objects that my application will use. I'll enable vector indexing. I'll enable range feeds. This is force of habit. This is already enabled now. I create a customer table with an email, phone, and preferred contact, which will be either one of them. A purchase table, which references the customer ID, has an amount, a location, a timestamp, and most importantly, a vector index. A table to store anomalies, linking off to both the purchase and customer tables with a score that signifies how anomalous that purchase was. And finally, a notification table, similar to the anomaly table, but this time to store the response from the large language model as a reasoning response. I pre-split the purchase table. This is completely optional. CockroachDB will do this for you, but the more ranges you have in a table, the higher concurrency you'll have for your change feed. I have a function and trigger pair to vectorize my purchase before I insert it into the table. This will trigger before the insert, and it will take the amount and vectorize it, the timestamp and vectorize the hour, and the location and vectorize that. I build up the resulting vector as dimensions from the previous calculations and set that. And there's the before insert trigger. And a couple of helper functions. We can ignore this one. This determines how distant a customer purchase is from their regular purchases. This will tell me what part of the vector contributed most to the L2 distance, i.e. the reason that purchase was anomalous. And this fetches everything that the notification agent or service requires in order to send a customer a notification. I'm not actually sending an email or an SMS, I'm just logging out, but you get the gist. That's our objects created. I'll generate some purchase history. So we've actually got some purchases to calculate differences against. And I just do 10,000. Next, I'll hop onto CockroachDB. I'll insert 1,000 purchases for that user, just so I can work out what is normal for that customer and what is anomalous. And with this, I'm generating a regular purchase history for this customer, a fairly standard range of purchase amounts, and a fairly tight geographical distribution of purchases. I'll create the 3 change feeds that I mentioned earlier. Those look like this. I have a change feed for the purchase table, which will create a purchase topic in Pulsar. Ordering isn't important for this because I have lots of different customers all making purchases. I have another change feed for anomalies and another for notifications. Again, the ordering isn't important for these. Next, I'll deploy my agents, and to give you an idea as to what these look like, an agent is just a Go process. This is the code for my reasoning agent. It receives a parsed Pulsar message, fetches the context for that purchase, which is calling the function that calculates the primary causes for the anomaly. It then performs the LLM request using this prompt. I share the breakdown of the anomaly, but I ask for the response to be very human because we're talking to a human. I'll create those agents now. And then I'll tail their logs using kubetail. There's nothing happening at the moment because we haven't started anything, but let's now start a workload. So we're making 10 requests per second, and we can see that the anomaly detection agent is at work. It's processing the 10 requests per second, and what you're seeing here in average delay is simply the amount of time it took from creating the purchase to then reading it back into the anomaly agent. So customer makes a purchase, and around half a second later, the anomaly agent is aware of that purchase and is doing its part of the fraud detection workflow. All of these events are within the normal bounds of a purchase, so nothing's being flagged as anomalous yet. Let's create an anomaly now. For the customer we created earlier, I'm creating a purchase with the value of 50, which is well within their normal spending pattern, but the location is very different to their normal patterns. Typically they shop in London, but this time they're shopping in Nashville. So we'll insert that. We've received the anomalous purchase, and it's gone through the entire process. So the anomaly detection, which has created the anomaly, the reasoning agent has picked up the anomaly message, has gone to the LLM, which has responded. We've written that response to the database, which has published a notification message, and the customer has been sent this. Hi there, we just wanted to let you know that your recent purchase was flagged by our system. It seems the location from which the purchase was made raised a bit of an alert. If everything's in order on your end, there's nothing to worry about. And that's a nice human response to the anomalous purchase. The customer can either get in touch with Acme Corp or ignore it if that was expected. Let's make another anomalous purchase, but this time on the price. If their typical range were between $1 and $100, $10,000 would be very out of the ordinary for them, but it is in their normal purchasing location. Let's insert that. We've received the anomalous purchase here. It's gone through the reasoning agent and they've been notified. Hello, we wanted to let you know that your recent purchase with us seems a bit unusual. The main reason it caught our eye was because of the amount. We're just being cautious and making sure everything is secure for you. Again, a very human response to a human customer, thanks to our reasoning agent and a large language model, which has been fed its data from CockroachDB. Now, you could also do this with RAG if you wanted to, but for the purposes of this demo, which is already quite complicated, I wanted to keep it simple. Before we scale this to more customers, let's just open up a browser. I'll echo the CRDB IP, and let's open that up in a browser. What we're looking at here is the cluster dashboard. If we look at the metrics for the last 10 minutes, we'll see that we're making around 20 requests per second, half of which are the purchases themselves, and half of them are the anomaly agent determining whether each is an anomaly. Our change feed dashboard is healthy. We have 3 healthy change feeds. We can also see their commit latencies and various other metrics that you might want to monitor when running change feeds. Now let's ramp up this workload a little. If I come over to my code, my configuration for the workload generator is here. It's simply YAML configuration. I had 10 casual shoppers before. Now I'll have 20. I'll restart the workload. And you can see immediately we're seeing more purchases, so making more anomaly checks against the database. But this hasn't impacted the average delay that we're seeing between purchase and the anomaly agent. Coming back to the metrics, I can see an uptick. You can't because my head's in the way. I'll let that carry on so you can actually see what I'm looking at. You can just about see it cresting over my head now. We've essentially doubled the number of purchases we're making. Let's increase that to 50. So 50 concurrent shoppers. The average latency, this is the time that it leaves my machine, goes to my CockroachDB cluster in GKE and comes back again, is still around 20 milliseconds. That hasn't changed. What has changed slightly though is the average delay between purchase made and anomaly agent. Now this is expected because there are more messages being transmitted via Pulsar and only one thing reading off that queue, but this is still stable. Let's change that now by increasing the number of shoppers from 50 to 100. Now, this doesn't sound like a big leap, but with 100 purchases being made every second, that's CockroachDB CDC Pulsar anomaly agent for every single one. 100 transactions per second, that's over 8 million transactions per day and over 3 billion transactions per year. With an average transaction price of around $50, this is a business that's making around $50 to $100 billion a year in revenue. And assuming an average sale value of around $50, 1 minute of downtime to this business would cost $300,000, with 1 hour of downtime costing $18 million. So we're talking about a very large business. Let's update that one more time. Now we'll have 100 customers, and still the average latency is below 20 milliseconds, but we're making 100 requests per second now. We've gone from around 550 milliseconds to around 850 milliseconds, but everything remains stable. I'm actually trying to make this less stable. So let's try increasing it again, this time to 150 shoppers, so even higher cost of downtime. And finally, we're starting to see a bit of a runaway. The anomaly detection agent is no longer able to keep up with the number of messages coming across. So now I'll scale it up. Let's scale it to 3 copies. Now, keep an eye over here. What I've done in the background is taken us from 1 anomaly detection agent to 3. They're sharing a Pulsar topic, so they're now all getting 1/3 of the messages. There's still only 1 CockroachDB, but 100 transactions per second is not a lot for CockroachDB, nor is it for a change feed. We have customers making millions of transactions per second, with many hundreds of thousands of change feed operations per second. But what we see now is the average delay is coming back down again, and that will settle at around the 550 millisecond mark. Looking back at our cluster overview, what you can just see again over my head is the new increased traffic. And in total, we're making around 322 requests per second, half of which are the inserts, half of which are the vector queries. We hit a milestone recently whereby bot and agentic traffic overtook human traffic on the internet. So having a database that's able to cope with all of this agentic and bot traffic in addition to the human traffic is going to be table stakes for any database. Give CockroachDB a try and see just how easy features like CDC and vector queries make it to take advantage of the benefits of agentic AI.